When reading the criteria for this presentation, the line that stuck out to me the most was share with the faculty members your thoughts about how these projects demonstrate all that you have learned from all your required courses during your freshman and sophomore year. I sat with this line for a good month before ever sitting down to think of what I was even going to say, and the truth is there weren't just 2 projects that demonstrated all that I've learned so far. Each project had mistakes, insecurities, something wrong that never fit with how the rest of the class did it. Whether it was print size, quality, creativity, you name it, there was always something off. I understand this, and I've come to accept it, but that means I do not feel the 2 projects I've chosen humbly show all that I am capable of. However, I see them as learning experiences and would like to share my journey with both of them. The first project I've chosen is my final user experience design project, creating a mobile and desktop version of my own personal portfolio. For the sake of it, I've only chosen to show off the mobile version. The criteria for this project was to create an app and desktop portfolio for your work. Other than that, it was free range. From far away, it looks like a jumbled up mess with lots of repeating screens, but I learned a lot by playing around on Adobe XD. As a high schooler, my career goal was to be an animator. I wanted to work at Walt Disney Animation Studios for the longest time because I thought that's what I was genuinely meant to do. After a lot of thinking and differing life experiences, I decided design was where I needed to be. It felt stable, smoother, and reliable, but I never could figure out what I was lacking. It felt like such an empty career goal. At first, I had no idea how to go about producing the layout, so I did some research on what kind of style I was looking to introduce myself as. A specific style I found really pleasing to view is from an artist named Daisuke Nimura. They produce minimal and clean designs and illustrations with plenty of movement and colors. Most of the illustrations I've seen from them always include a person in some type of moving pose. Kicking, running, dancing, flipping their hair back and forth. It brings so much personality into one picture. This alone inspired me to add my personal character I made while in high school. Eddie was a character I created my sophomore year of high school after being inspired by an illustrator that went by Z-Tune. I drew him nonstop up until the second semester at my freshman year in college when I started to become uninspired in illustration. He was what some people would call a comfort character, and I do believe part of me kept going because of him. This was why I felt it was necessary to add him into my portfolio onto the very front page, because he means a lot to me, and for a personal portfolio, I couldn't imagine it without this character. That being said, I put a lot of effort into his animations and the rest of the animations that go along with it. With this project, I was introduced to the fact that animation, illustration, and design can all coexist when done right. I put a lot of time and effort into the individual animations, and for the first time in a while, I started really enjoying design. It didn't feel like just a job or something I was doing for the sake of doing. I found purpose and reasoning as to what I was getting into. Outside of finding purpose, this project helped me learn how to navigate design to a deeper extent. No, it wasn't perfect in any way, and of course there is always room for improvements, but I felt a newfound confidence in design. Color coordination, motivation, movement, and designing for someone who doesn't know how to navigate my design right off the bat the same way I do. All of this gave me perspective and determination to keep learning more on my own time. I owe a lot to this project for introducing me to this new perspective, and I hope in my later years I'm able to dive deeper into this. My next project is one of my longest and most time-consuming projects I've ever done, the Sophomore Typography 300 project. This project looked me in the eyes and told me to get a grip, that all my years of procrastination were going to end right here, right now, and then slam me up against a wall. I absolutely love this project now that it's over, because it taught me about commitment. About 300 illustrations using different fonts, letters, and symbols, all done in about 3-something weeks. Usually I never have to put too much time into a project, about 1 day set aside to just focus mainly on that project. But this project took a good month out of my life to finish. I had to say no to a lot of people and really balance my time to a T. In all seriousness, this project gave me the reality of what I might be facing in my future career, long drawn-out projects that take a good majority of my time and brain power. But even if not, then I will be able to look back on this experience and remind myself that if I can get this done, I definitely could do whatever is being done at that point in time. I found with projects after this I've been able to apply this mindset easily and push through even the hardest of times. The instructions were entirely vague, but also had a list of criteria I had to meet at the same time, which was a bit of a challenge in itself. I found that I thrive more when I have very little specific criteria to meet and struggle deeply when there are small details I need to make sure I add. This is what I meant at the very beginning of this presentation when I said I struggle with having mistakes and insecurities within my projects. Whether it came to sizing, specific types of type, and even the specific way of binding, I am now aware of this though, and I've figured out how to keep myself from missing these details, which gives me confidence with moving forward. The process of putting this together was hefty, because while I deeply enjoy illustration, I did not enjoy these types of illustrations. There were no guidelines other than do not make an actual picture, and as someone who really enjoys drawing actual things, this was somewhat difficult for me. How I got around this was just to pretend I didn't see anything in the illustrations I was making, even if others did. I knew in myself I wasn't purposely making something, so I felt confident in pressing through. It's just like how people see pictures in clouds. It was not on purpose, but people see what they wish to see. The one I currently have up, now that I take a step back, reminds me of a piano, but I did not purposely try to make a piano. This was just a start though. My next problem was getting through all of them. As someone who has ADHD, sitting and making these illustrations felt like genuine hell. At first I dragged through each one and then would stop for a couple of days before trying again. And for the schedule I was given to finish these, that was not going to work out. At the time, though, my favorite game from middle school had its 6-year anniversary and released an orchestral version of the in-game music. As I listened, I worked on this project and about halfway through realized I had gotten about 54 done in one sitting. With the type of music I was listening to, I noticed that some songs made me go faster than the others, as if I was playing the video game itself. One of the songs I listened to, I remembered having to fight this huge boss that overwhelmed your screen so much so that you were forced to keep dying since you'd keep losing your cursor. This meant you had to be quick and focused during the entire fight, and you did not get a chance to even breathe properly until the fight was over. With songs like this playing, I acted out the same type of responses I'd had while in-game in this project. I was essentially playing a video game the entire time I worked on this project. I found this really made a difference in this project and even every project I've ever had following. What excites me the most is that I have been able to see myself do things I've never imagined myself doing in these 2 projects alone. While still recognizing that neither are perfect, I've pushed myself in ways I didn't think I could, and I've gained more confidence to design past where I personally believe my skills are. With every single project, no matter how it goes, the one thing I learned each and every single time is that there is always more room to grow. Whether it's finding out something new about Adobe programs, or ways to make my design more cohesive, or even how to communicate better with others, I am growing. I might not know every single little thing about design right now, but what I do know is that I am passionate about learning more. This goes for all of my classes. I want to be well-rounded, empathetic, honest, and caring designer in person one of these days. Someone that can be relied on through and through, no questions asked. I saw myself become the person just a little bit more in these projects, and I thank all the professors I've had so far that have pushed me to do better in every semester. Thank you.